Hello, I'm Ed Overstreet. Welcome to the Night Sky Imaging YouTube channel. For the last 3 nights, maybe 4 nights, I've imaged with pretty clear skies. We really haven't had good seeing. Hopefully, I will tonight, and if I do, I'll be live. Last night wasn't any good, so I decided not to go live. Tonight's supposed to be better. But I'm going to process some of the stuff that I took last night um, because the scene was just a slightly better than the prior night. And I wanted to go through some of the new things that I've been using with Winjupos. And that seems to be software that's got a lot of interest because we've got the planets to image now, and derotating them, especially for Jupiter and Saturn, is a must. Uh, you really need to know how to use it. So let's get started and see if we can't figure it out together. I have Fire Capture open, and I'm going to go to, that's the wrong night. We're going to go to last night, and I was able to take, I think I have 7. I processed some of them while I was imaging to see what I had. So I have 7 sets of 7 images. I shortened the videos to about 8,000. I think they're 8,000 frames for Jupiter. And then I have 5 sets for Saturn. I think I have 7. There's no real reason why I stop at 7 other than the derotation works best if you keep it within a certain amount of time, and 7 seems to work for me. At any rate, I want to open up. That's what I intended to do before I got lost in my own conversation, to the last session, because the Jupiter was as high in the sky as it was going to get. Seeing was as good as I had last night. So we're going to open these up, all of them, because we're going to batch process the images. My goodness. So we want to get off of surface and we want to click on planet. If you happen to see this box, then you're on the wrong, for planets, then you're on the wrong image stabilization platform or algorithm. So you want dynamic background definitely checked. These I'm going to run up to 7, and they're awful noisy. I was going to change back to the ASI 224 camera. I was using the Uranus C Player 1 camera, and I wasn't giving it very good reviews, and it hit me. It's unfair for me to do that because the scene was not good any one night that I imaged with it. Um, so I'll hold off reviewing that or putting my 2 cents in. But at any rate, I'm continuing with the Player 1. So locals checked, auto sizes checked, nothing else. And I'm going to analyze the first one. Okay. I'm going to see, I took 7,000, not 8,000 frames. So I'm going to keep, I'm going to keep 20%. We'll leave it right there. I do not check sharpened. Drizzle is off. And so what I want to do is I want to place sample points, and I'm going to select I think 24, and let's see what that looks like. It's too many. Clear that. Let's try 48. Yes. Okay. I have 48 sample points. I didn't scrub through the image to see if there were better frames. I know there are better and are worse through any video, but the algorithm in Autostakkert does its own selection for the reference frame. It doesn't help for me to pick one. I just like to see sometimes what I've got, and I can already tell you it's not great. So we're going to process them all. As soon as I click stack, it's going to process this one, and then it's going to uh, go to the next one automatically. I'm done now with this until Autostakkert is finished with all 7. So I'm going to minimize this. Last night, before when I signed off, I went ahead and processed. I'll show you which group I processed. I think it was the number 6. Okay, I went to number 6 and I processed 30% of those. So I already have these 7 stacked in Autostakkert. Autostakkert is currently running, and it's doing the 7th batch. So this is the 6th batch that I did before I just let it run and went on to bed. So I'm going to open up this one, and I have not looked at this stuff, and I may stop this video and I'm going to go ahead and run auto balance, and I'm going to load. I tell you what, for tutorial sake, I'm going to create my own new scheme. So I'm going to start with the 3rd wavelet, and by the way, under the wavelet scheme, I'm picking linear and not dyadic. They both work, but I lean towards linear, and I have Gaussian checked. So I'm going to start with the 3rd layer, and I'll just click do all, and then I'm going to the 4th. I'm just going to bring it all the way up, see what effect that has, and click do all. And the 2nd, I'm not sure we're going to have a very pleasing result, and we'll apply. Let's go ahead and power up the 5th layer, and the 6th layer. All right, in order to combat some of that noise, I'm going to raise this layer 1, the noise level, to 15. And before I do all, I'm going to put all of these at 15, not 20. Hit that twice. Let's see what this does. The noise is generally generated in these first 3 layers of the planet. That's where the detail is going to be, and that's where the noise is aggravated. Okay, let's check a preview here. Okay, so I'm going to try running the sharpening up to 120 on these first 3 layers. Oh, well, I got by with it. Let's move this up to 130. And this will be a tough one here. Well, we have some increased noise, but have had worse. Let's go to gamma, which is curves. I'm going to left click right in the center, and then I'm going to right click to create an anchor point there. I'm going to drop this just a shade, and it's kind of a contrast curve. And what I probably should do is save this curve so that I can use it on all the other images. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to call this contrast curve. Auto balance is auto balance. I'm going to have to reset this to get auto balance, and then we'll load this contrast curve back. Okay, it's yellow, but I'll have to let's see if I don't always have a whole lot of luck with let's drag this green down some. Of getting this to work with me. You can clearly see the noise. Reset this. Reset this. Reset that. That's just causing me some grief, that curve. Excuse me, I am still bothered by. All right, let's raise the noise up to 20 on these first 3 layers, and let's give it a do-all. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and save this scheme as 10, 23, 23 Jupiter, and I'm going to do this all over again. I don't like anything I'm seeing. And since we're going to be demonstrating Winjupos, and you really can't, there's only so much you can do with this. All right, we want to run this and load my scheme. And here it is. Oh crap, what did I do? Heck with it all. I'm just going to shut all this down. When in doubt, no, I don't want to save this. And close down. Well, I want to close down. Oh, because we're having a problem. All right, let's try opening Registax. Somehow or another, it had maintained my prior application in memory, and reset doesn't always reset. So we'll start from scratch. I'm going to keep it simple. I am just going to run color balance and load the scheme, which is 1023. That's it. Can't stand it. I am going to just make a very simple I'm just going to darken it some, say there. I'm not going to save it. Let's just try to remember this. So we're going to do all. We're going to save, and I'm going to rename this for Registax. And we're going to open up the next one. And we're going to load the scheme. And we're going to apply this. Drop it. Do all. Save. And rename Registax. We're going to load the next one. And the scheme, auto balance, do all, save, be careful not to change the name of the file because Winjupos needs that information to timestamp. So let's do this one. I just add the extension REG that lets me know that I have stacked and ran them through Registax. Now, for some reason, maybe a cloud, but for some reason, this one is darker. So I'm going to have to try to use my I am going to shut this down. I think it's picked up settings. No, I don't want to save. I'm going to start it again. I think we're on the fourth one. And then we'll go into Winjupos. So we're on the fourth one. It is darker though. Tell you what, the last four are clearly darker. Let's we're going to work with that then. And I'm going to get into I think the scene really went bad because this has to be cloud related. Okay, I don't think I'm going to process anymore. I think I'm going to go right into Winjupos and just do those three because they look terrible. And this is also like that. So let's open Winjupos. And I want to make sure that I have Jupiter selected. You have the options for every planet and the sun and the moon. So we make sure we have that. And then there's only three things you're going to really be using: celestial body, under recording, image measurement, and under tools, derotation. Those are the three menu items that you'll be using to run your derotation. So we're going to go to image measurement, and I'm going to open the image. And so let's go to the 7th. Oh, we did the 6th. The 7th is processing now. That's right. So we've got this one. It's our first one. And I want to double check and make sure that my time is right. I took them, now this is universal time. So it was at 11:08 last night. This is 4 hours different. And of course it was today on universal time. So that's when this one was taken, and it picked up that information because in SharpCap I elected to use Winjupos names. So in FireCapture and in SharpCap you have that option under the file naming to check Winjupos. But if you fail to do that, then you always can go to the let's take 6, and you have these text files, and if you check on this text file and go down towards the bottom, you're going to have start time, the midpoint, and the end capture. And I usually use the end capture, and so that would be, and you have to use the same one on all your images, but that would be 30904. Obviously, SharpCap must have used the start capture time because they have 30755. I don't know which of those files I picked up. I thought I picked up the first one. So just use the same timestamp. The next thing we're going to do is go to adjustment, and with Jupiter you can click on outline frame and select automatic detection. You cannot do that with Saturn. Saturn, you have to manually move the Saturn template over on top of Jupiter, but I'm going to select automatic detection and it does it for me. Now, if you'll notice out here that it has a template circle for one of the moons, and you have to make sure back over here under image that you have your longitude and your latitude in these two places. this is my latitude and this is my longitude. Make sure you have that saved in there. So I'm going to go back to adjustment, and it's always important in order to get your template correct to take at least one wide field view of Jupiter so that all of the moons can be captured, and then process that one first so that you can get your template oriented correctly, and then all the rest of them that you bring in will fit in nicely. But I'm going to raise the gamma up a little bit and see if, okay, here's my problem. This is my field of view and the moon is outside, so this isn't wide enough. After the cropping in Autostakkert, this is what I have left after it's stacking. So the moon won't be there available for me, and so that's a bummer. So let's I'm just going to have to do the best job that I can of centering this. Now here's how you center it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move this template away, and you have the page up key, which makes your template bigger. Your page up key will bring the template smaller. Winjupos is so used to working with my 8-inch that it brings the template up almost perfect for me. You have the N, which will rotate clockwise, and you have the P key right here to help you remember to rotate counterclockwise, and you want to get this lined up, and then you have your left arrow. It moves it to the left, to the right, up, and down. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I want to take the limb darkening value and I want to raise that up to about 1, because on my camera, and I find out with most people over here, if you're not careful, you'll get a line if this is too high. But I'm going to check this, which will help me center. Here's that line, but I want to help center this, and that just, and I think I'm going to leave it right there. So I'm going to uncheck limb darkening. I'm going to bring this value to about 70, 75, and check it. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go back to image, and I'm going to click save, F2, and I'm going to call this one 1. And I'm going to save this. In the same folder where I have these other, and I want this, there you go. Now I'm going to open up my next image, which was this one, and it's going to fit in nicely. I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to save, call this one 2. I'm going to open up my next image. Once you get one done, then you're on a roll, and I'm going to save that and call this 3, and so we're done. So the next thing we're going to do is derotate them. I'm going to go to Tools, Ephemerides, Tools, Derotation, and you can see the time that's being derotated. And had I just taken a long video during this time, it would be blurry by the virtue of Jupiter's rotation. So this is the span of time we're working with. I want to edit and remove all. Actually, that was my prior image, the span of time. So we've got to find these 3. And there they are. And so it's set at 75. And so here's the span of derotation. I'm going to pick the middle one to be my best one. I'm going to go check on all of them, and I'll bring all of them down to 90 except for that one. And I'm going to compile. That's it. There's my derotated image. And I'm going to save that as a TIFF file so that I can bring it back into Registax. And so there it is. Now, I'm going to open up Registax again. Normally I go into Photoshop, but Registax can, and there's the image. It'll be by far the larger image. But let's go, and let's bump up this a little bit. First layer. And the second layer. And the third layer. We're going to change some noise. And the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. And let's give a little help to mitigate some of that noise. Okay, this was taken with an 8-inch edge, and the optics are slightly, they're limiting, but that's too much noise reduction. Let's add a little sharpening on the first wavelet and the second wavelet and the third. And let's bring gamma up one last time. End up screwing it up when I do this. Okay, well, the use of Autostakkert, Registax, and Winjupos is really what I wanted to illustrate, and I wouldn't probably wouldn't bother to put this up anywhere, but other than to illustrate how it's done. Okay, that's it. I'm going to catch you later and hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and say something nice to somebody. You'll both feel better for it.